Hi, welcome back. I got this Toshiba T1600 a couple of days ago. I could get it for a good price, so I thought, why not? But when I googled this specific machine, I saw something that actually kind of blew my mind. So this is not really that special of a machine. It's from 1989. It's a 286 with presumably 640K of memory and a 20 megabyte hard disk. But when I started looking into the manual and the service manual, I saw it had something funky. So it has the usual blue and amber screen like many of the Toshiba T series. It's obviously very, very dirty, but the thing that caught my eye was that this thing has, just unclip that, a detachable screen. Now, have you ever seen anything like this? I mean, this is insane. For 1989, I mean, what? So, we're going to check this thing out. It's very dirty, as I said, so it needs a good cleaning before I start working on it. It also, it doesn't turn on. It says so in the ad, but just the DC in light comes on and that's it. So it probably has the same problem like any other Toshiba T series from that era. They all have bad caps in them, so it will need to be recapped, most probably. Also, besides being dirty and yellowed, so it will need some retro grinding as well. It also has a lot of corrosion. I mean, everything here is just, it's rusted and all kinds of green corrosion. And well, if we try to flip this over, so this is a stand. It can just slots in like this, and then the machine can stand at an angle. But yeah, and it has some broken pieces. It also has, which is quite unusual for the time, dual batteries, and one of them comes out nicely and it doesn't look all that bad. It's just, well, it's dead obviously, but this one, it's a lot harder to get out. It has some corrosion on here, and the contacts here are also very corroded. So we'll just take it apart. I will time lapse this because, yeah, it's not that interesting, and you can find a manual at -0 degrees, so I won't go into any details on how to disassemble this thing. But first, let's give it a quick wipe down, so my hands don't get as dirty, and I'll just be using some window cleaner or Windex. Yeah, so let's get started. Okay, so now that it's a bit cleaner, we can start on disassembling the machine. And as I said, I won't be really going into any details on how to do this. You can find the maintenance manual on the internet, and I'll link it down below in the description as well. So let's first remove the screen, put that aside. The screen also, yeah, I don't really know if it shows on camera, but it looks like it's a bit cloudy, so it might be an indication that the screen is dead. Well, we'll just Have to see and find out. So next, turn the machine over. Just put that to the side. And we'll need to remove these two caps and some screws. Okay, so we are in, and as you can see, there's a lot of corrosion here. So these are the battery contacts. This is the one that wasn't as corroded, this one obviously is. There's some corrosion on this expansion connector, which is for memory expansions. Ooh, keep you in the frame. And there's also corrosion on all these metal pieces and on these here. And there are some spots. And there's all kinds of gunk on the modem expansion connector. And there's rust all the way down there. And the funny thing is, this is the modem expansion, and it would slot into this little bracket thingy. But there's also an expansion slot on this side, and let me just put you down right here. Come on, camera, focus. Yeah. So there's an expansion slot here, and that contains a modem. But this looks like a hack job, so maybe probably someone installed it themselves. So we'll have to dig down deeper to get to the main board. And there we have the CPU board. So there it is. Focus. Come on. Yeah. Intel ADC28612 and no math coprocessor. I'm sorry, you were out of focus there. So I removed the speaker, and this is the memory board, and it connects over here to the yeah, what is that? Oh, that's the expansion connector, of course, and it's connected to the CPU board here, and it should just lift out according to the manual, but I can't get it, so we'll have to take it apart a bit further. Oh boy. That's a lot of corrosion. Looks like it didn't get to the hard drive connector, so fortunately. But man, that's a lot of damage. Yeah. I hope this hard drive still works, because this is a Connor, and well, these aren't really the best drives. So it looks like all the corrosion is right around this area. See? And this is probably a RAM backup battery, but yeah, it must have leaked. Well, actually, looks pretty okay. And this is the power supply board, and as with all the T-series laptops, as I've said in the beginning, the caps on these are pretty bad quality and are prone to failure, and they mostly leak from the bottom, so you can't see it on the top. And it's pretty much evident by all the corroded solder joints and other stuff. And as I said, nothing to be seen here. Yeah, so it will be interesting to see what has failed, and my guess is, I can see it here already. See if I can get, yeah, so all these traces here are damaged, and over here there's a lot of damage. We'll just have to find out if everything's still okay and what components have failed. So yeah, this will be the center of attention at first. for now, let's just keep on digging. I mean, it has to come out because we have to fix all the rust down here. And this is the, hard drive controller board, I guess. Let me just check. Yeah, this is the hard disk controller adapter. Controller/adapter board. And get that into focus. You can see the caps here. Well, yeah, you can see it like this. They're bulging a bit at the bottom. And there's some evidence of leakage on the board, so these will probably have to be replaced as well. And look what I found. A 22 ohm 2-watt power resistor just floating around in here. And I thought I heard something rattling when I first got it, so that would be it. Now I wonder where that came from, and it should be right there. Now, how did that come loose? It's just, well, heat, I guess. That could have something to do with it not working. And here we have the expansion bus connector, which is also a bit corroded, but the pins seem fine, so just a good scrub would probably do it. I mean, they're all gold plated, so it probably won't be that much of a hassle to clean, but it's man, I mean, it's really corroded down here. And you can tell by the connectors here in the motherboard as well. There's just all kinds of gunk and dirt and rust and yeah, it's not good. Okay, so next up, remove the floppy drive. And there you go. And luckily, this isn't one of the belt-driven models, because those are the slimmer ones in the Toshiba T1000, T1100, T1200, etc. And they fail. The belts just dry up and snap, and it's a nightmare to get them. But the floppy drive actually, yeah, it looks pretty decent. And now all we're left with is the system board and all the connectors and the handle, and it all has to come apart. So let's do some more unscrewing. There we go. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that it's not as bad as I feared. It looks like the system board is pretty much okay. It's just a metal bracket thingy holding the I/O ports. So yeah, we might just get lucky here. It doesn't really look, I mean, it's not great, but it doesn't look that bad. Okay. Now it's just a matter of removing everything else and get this thing washed. These are melted into place. So they're little plastic pegs and they melt them to secure it. So I can't remove those, unfortunately. I could probably desolder the cables, or desolder the cables, but I also noticed that this metal sheet, this RF shielding, it's held down by this by these brass screw thingies, and those are press fit into the plastic. You can. This is one of them, and yeah, they are pretty stuck in there. You can't really remove these, so yeah, I don't really know how to get rid of this rust. Might be able to peel back on the plastic a bit, but usually it's just glued on there, so yeah, we'll have to see. So that's the teardown. Now comes the cleaning. I will clean this later in a different video, and now I'll just take a look at the PCBs and see what kind of condition they are in more detail. So let's get going. So first up is the main board. Yeah, upon further inspection, it seems like there has been some leakage of probably electrolyte right here, but I don't really see that much corrosion damage. This is just loose stuff, and yeah, that's definitely electrolyte. You can smell it. It's a very distinct odor. I can't really describe it. So, but other than that, this looks pretty much spotless, except for some of the connectors that have been corroded a bit, but that will probably just come right out with a bit of IPA and a toothbrush. So they're all gold-plated connectors, so it doesn't really corrode as much. But this backplate, yeah, that's pretty bad. So we'll just take that off. And I have my handy socket tool. And there we have it. And yeah, there's just tons and tons of rusty gunk falling off it. I was actually surprised how easy the screws came loose, and so yeah, it seems it's just this bezel, and I think that just brushes off. In fact, let me grab my toothbrush and some IPA. Let's just see how easily this would clean up. Yeah, the RGB connector has some corrosion inside there, so does the serial port, but yeah, that just brushes off, because they're all gold-plated connectors. It's just a tiny bit of corrosion on the shielding. Overall, it's not too bad. Oops, let me just actually get you in the picture. So yeah, there's some, it's pretty hard to see, but there's some corrosion in there and on the shield and here, but just it all brushes out right out, so that is positive. And let's just also immediately remove the all the sticky electrolyte gunk from there. Much better. Now, yeah, there's some here as well. Just a load of IPA on there and just give it a good brush. Or good brushing, I should say. And get one of my paper towels. Just dab it all up a bit. I mean, it will evaporate pretty quickly, but it's just easier this way. But yeah, other than that, I mean, it's just this section where the power supply board lives that's really corroded, and the rest actually looks fine. So, system board, probably okay. Needs a good clean, but probably okay. This bezel thing, I'll probably just toss it in a bit of vinegar and let the vinegar eat away at the corrosion and neutralize any basic stuff that leaked from the capacitor and the batteries, and yeah, brush it off, and it would probably look okay-ish. Probably will paint it afterwards as well, just to make it look nice, but yeah, it's not that bad. It's surface rust mostly. Okay. Now the power supply board and missing resistor. So this is a 2 watt. Let me get it in focus for you, if I can. It's a 2 watt 22 ohm power resistor, and yeah, it obviously needs to go there. But how this got loose, I guess this hole looks like it just got pulled out of it or something, and that is obviously melted solder. So my guess is that something failed in this power supply board, and it just this resistor got so hot that it melted out. But all in all, nowhere near as bad as I expected. It's the connector for the battery is, yeah, let's just actually, yeah, these are dead anyway. It's just 5 AAAA batteries, and they're all connected together in series. It's actually the same ones as battery, the sub battery. This is called the sub battery. It's for SRAM backup, so you can basically hibernate your machine. It's the same type of battery as in the Toshiba T1600 I, only they're not taped together or heat shrunk together like this, but it's just a big long tube. But it's the same batteries and the same amount of batteries. So yeah, also needs a good clean and a good test, and yeah, don't know how to fix that. Maybe I'll just replace it. Ooh. And of course the CPU board, it just looks fine. Nothing really. The connectors are a bit dirty, but hey, it's, compared to the rest of the machine, yeah, this one is looking great. And the LED board also looks fine, no corrosion or anything. The expansion port connector, and this is some kind of, let's get me, yes, focus. This connects to the main board, and yeah, probably this is part of the bus or something. Yeah, it has to be, because this is just the ISA bus. So the modem card right here, it connects in there. So yeah, this is the ISA bus, and this all connects the CPU and the RAM and other stuff. So this is basically the entire system bus. And of course the floppy drive, we looked at it before, but yeah, it's totally fine. Nothing, no corrosion whatsoever, just a little bit right there, but yeah, nothing too shocking. And finally, the hard drive board, or hard drive chassis bracket thingy-majingy. And yeah, as you can see, all the corrosion really originates from here. Oh, focus. It all originates from here. And if you look at how the machine is put together, then this is where that sub battery, that yellow brick thingy went. So it has to be that battery has leaked. The machine was probably stored like that. It just exploded all over the place and it leaked down, or it was stored like that or something, like at an angle down, and it just leaked and ran down, leaked all over the metal bracket at the back, and just wreaked havoc on everything. So we are going to remove the hard drive, and I really hope that the controller board for the hard drive is okay. That actually went a lot easier than I expected. Probably could have used my small screwdriver. In fact, let's, because it's way nicer. And remove this, so we can remove the memory board. And then just put this back here for now so I don't lose it. Come on. Do it correctly. Yeah, so this is the memory board, and as I said, this is 640K of RAM. Let's get the model numbers. this should be 640k RAM at least. So yeah, and it also has the switch to detect if the lid is closed or not. And yeah, it's completely fine. So the most important parts are actually fine. And yeah, I'll drop this in vinegar as well. Probably also give it a bit of paint afterwards to prevent any more corrosion. Just make it look nice. And there we have the hard drive, and I can't see any damage. There's just some spots on there where some electrolyte or whatever leaked out of those batteries got onto the PCB, but it absolutely looks fine. And I'm not going to remove it from the hard drive chassis. Just clean this whole thing up a bit. Probably just with some IPA and microfiber cloth, and it should be good to go. And that's awesome because these things are just impossible to find. They often get stuck. In fact, let's just give that a quick test, see if the hard drive works. Let me grab an adapter. Okay, so I have an IDE to USB adapter thingy, and it very handy, and it also comes with a tiny little power supply brick with a Molex connector. So it's pretty handy. And just plug that in. Okay, fingers crossed. Hope nothing blows up, and hope that it spins up. Here we go. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah. I mean, it spins up, but it doesn't really sound all that healthy. So this will need to be looked after as well, unfortunately. So, yeah, there we have it. Let's get to cleaning some stuff.